And this morning, I think it's going to be a great subject. I'm actually pulling this information from entrepreneur.com. And if you're not a frequent visitor to entrepreneur.com, regardless of what you do professionally, I recommend that you go there and spend some time there. They have tremendous articles from just a variety of writers that are in different professional backgrounds. And I find a lot of value. I go there literally every single day and read kind of the top 10. Travis Bradberry, he is a very consistent contributor to entrepreneur.com and co-author of the book Emotional Intelligence 2.0. And if you've ever read Emotional Intelligence, you understand, number one, how talented and gifted of a writer that Travis is, but also just how important emotional intelligence is, more than even our IQ, really bolstering our EQ. And we can talk about that a lot on this call. And really a lot of what we do is to try to help you bolster that EQ. But EQ is really what we're talking about this morning regarding leadership and 10 key behaviors that emotionally intelligent leaders engage in that make them so likable. I've seen several studies regarding, what makes a leader likable or what makes a leader effective in the minds of those that are following that leader. And most of the time, it's not even those skill sets that we might initially think, those strategic things, being able to vision cast or being able to fully implement a plan or have clarity and vision. I think those things are certainly important. But when people that have been polled, that have followed leaders, when they've been polled, what makes this leader really effective to you? Really, it moves away from some of those skill sets that we probably work a lot on, and it moves more into the emotional side of it. Just being able to really like a leader to the point that you want to follow that leader, right? That you want to do a great job. And that's what we're talking about today. So pulling from that article, this is not unique information to me. It did not originate with me. Again, it comes from Travis Bradberry. I want to be very clear on that. But we're going to do five of 10. Number one, very likable leaders form personal connections. They form personal connections. And I know that in your own mind, and maybe you may be this person, but if you think of a very likable leader, I think immediately, I do at least, I get a picture in my mind of a very crowded room. But that leader being able to engage one by one on a very personal level, having those one-on-one conversations as if you're the only person in the room that matters. Even though that leader may have 20 other contacts to make, even though they may be the keynote speaker that night, when they talk to you, it's something about the way they look you in the eye. It's something about the warmth of their handshake or their body language, how engaged they are with you in that conversation. Very likable, because in that moment, you're the most important person in the world to that leader. And you feel that, right? A very likable leader. I think that likable leaders communicate on a very personal, emotional level. And they never forget that the person in front of them, they're not just a name. They're not just a stat in a report. It's a flesh and blood person. A person that has their own goals. A person that has their own challenges. A person that has their own dreams. Right? And I think to really be likable leaders, it's very, very important that we slow down and see the person that's on the other end of the phone call, the person that's on the other end of the text, the person that's standing right in front of you. I think Travis is exactly right on this. They form personal connections. And there are people on this broadcast right now that do this masterfully. And I don't think they intend to do it. I think it's just who they are, right? And they're deliberate about it, but it's just who they are. A Becky Weisner. I mean, my gosh, every time you talk to her, it's so about you and where you want to go. A Heather Baker, a friend of mine for over 10 years, but she asks questions about you and where you want to go and how I can help, and always promoting other people, personal connections. Number 2, they are approachable. We're talking about likable leadership. They are approachable. You know those people that the only time they have time for you is when they need something from you? You know? Ever met someone like that? And we're all pretty smart. I don't think they give us enough credit. But likable leaders truly believe that everyone, regardless of your rank or your ability, every person is worth their time and worth their attention. And they go out of their way to make everyone feel valuable because they believe that everyone is valuable and they are approachable, right? I'm not so high in the organization that we can't have a heart-to-heart discussion. I'm not so far removed from your rank or position in the structure or the company or social status that we can't have a real heart-to-heart conversation. They are approachable. We're talking about likable leadership. And I think this is great for all of us, regardless of how good we are in any of these, to have influence, to really have personal power, to have presence in a room, to have presence in a boardroom, to have presence in any organization or community. I think being likable goes a long, long way. Number 3, you're so kind, Andy. God bless you. You're so kind. Number 3, they're humble. Now, this is where some of the wheat sifts from the tares right here. When you talk about leadership, man, I love humble leadership. I mean, leaders that have made it, leaders that are certainly successful, but you know what? They're still humble. To me, that's attractive. To me, that's magnetic. To me, that's likable. And there's few things that kill likability like arrogance. Would you agree with that? I mean, it just kills likability. Likable leaders don't act as if they're better because they don't think they're better than you. We're talking real likable leadership. And rather than being a source of prestige, they see their leadership position as bringing them additional accountability for serving those that follow them, right? I mean, old-fashioned humility. Man, it's attractive. It's magnetic. I'll never forget walking into a conference many, many years ago. I was in my mid-20s and walking into a conference, and I'd heard of the speaker, but I'd never met the speaker. And here I am in this room, and this gentleman approaches me and just begins to carry on a conversation. Here I am in my young 20s, just really starting out. And this person began to engage me and ask me, why I was there and what I was looking for in the conference and on, and asked me about my life and where I was wanting to go and my dreams. And we just had the best conversation. I thought, this person is so interesting. They must be here to really receive something as well. Well, someone got up and they began to open this conference. And as people began to sit down, they called the guest speaker to come up. And it was a person that had been talking to me this whole time. Never mentioned their success, and they were highly successful. I was there to watch them speak. But yet the whole conversation was about me. That's humility. Humility. Here's number 4. We're going to give you 5 today. Here's number 4. They are positive. They're positive. Likable leaders always maintain a positive outlook, and it shows in how they describe things. They don't have to give a presentation to the board of directors. They get to share their ideas, right? They don't have to do this, but they get to do this. They're positive, not fake, right? Not wearing a mask, but finding the good and just having a general outlook of positivity, right? Just having a general outlook that, hey, something good can come of this. What's the best that we can find in this situation? How can we make the very best out of this opportunity? Likable leaders are positive in a world. Many times it has negative situations. There's certainly times that things don't go our way. There are times that things go very far from the way we would want them to go. But positive, likable leaders, they keep this enthusiastic hope for the future. And they have a confidence that they and you and all of us together, we can make tomorrow better than today. And we'll find the joy and beauty in right now. We're talking about likable leadership. And finally, number 5, and we're going to give part 2 tomorrow. It's going to be incredible. They are even killed. They're even killed. I love this. When it comes to their own accomplishments and their own failures, likable leaders just take things in stride. They're not always tooting their own horn. You know what I mean? They're not always bragging on themselves, but then they also don't really get that rattled when they blow it. Because the fact is, we all have highs and we all have lows, but likable leaders savor success without letting it go to their heads. And they acknowledge that there are situations that we didn't do so good at, but we can learn from. And in the highs and the lows, we try to learn and move forward. To me, that's likable leadership. It's hard to follow someone that's a roller coaster, right? Ever try to follow someone they're on the pinnacle in the morning, and then by mid-afternoon, they're yelling at everybody, they're upset, the world's going to end, and they're up and down and up. Ever tried to follow a leader like that? It's very, very difficult. But someone that's even killed. I heard one time, many, many years ago, I had an old pastor tell me, he said, don't let your highs get too high, but never let your lows get too low. Find consistency. Find balance in your emotions. Sometimes people are going to brag on you. They're going to be so for you. They're going to sing your praises. Hey, don't let it get too high. The next day, somebody's going to be against you. They're going to talk about you. They're going to call you names. They're going to lie on you. They're going to do it all. Don't let it get you too down. Stay consistent. Even killed. Likable leaders are consistent. They're stable in their emotions because they know who they are and they know what they give, right? They're not looking for validation on this side. They're not looking for validation on any point because they know what they bring. To me, that's likable leadership. Hey guys, this was part 1 of 2 parts. Again, this comes from Travis Bradberry's 10 Traits, 10 Habits of Highly Likable Leaders. I think it's a tremendous article. Tune right back in here tomorrow. Hey, Central Arkansas, we're going to come see you on October the 25th. That's Sunday. From 1 until 5 o'clock with the Best You event. I'm so looking forward to being in Arkansas. And we have a lot of friends in Hot Springs and Cabot, Jacksonville, Little Rock, Maumelle, Conway, all of those areas around there. And we really want to see you at that event. Hey, go to my Facebook page, either paul.lumen, or you can go to my public page or my business page, which is Paul Lumen Pro. And there's an Eventbrite registration. You can get registered there. Hey, we have a early bird rate just for a few more people. We set a certain number of tickets there. So just for a few more people. So please go there, get registered. Take advantage of that rate. We're going to have a great time. Love you so much. Have a great rest of the day. We'll see you right back here tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock a.m. Central Time on the Best You. God bless.